G'day guys. Sorry, I needed a drink and it started quicker than I thought. Sorry about that. Okay. Today's layout. It's easy and it's quick. So this is something that, like I said yesterday, I want to bring you some layouts that they're not super technical, but they're very effective when you step back. So they're not difficult. You can pull them together pretty quickly. What you can see me doing here, now I'm using my trimmer, and this doesn't work if you've got a guillotine, but if you have a trimmer like this, you're able to mess up like I did right then. So don't worry guys, if I stuff up, you know I'm going to leave it in there. So you can use the measurements on it and you can trim out the center of squares and circles, good luck with that, circles, rectangles, triangles, all that sort of thing. So can you see what I've created? So I've got the black background, and then I've cut out my squares, and of course I want my border. So I am going to town. I am not messing around with this. I had this idea in my head. I knew what I wanted to do, and I just jumped straight into it. Sometimes that's what I'm like when I scrap, and I can just bang, 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 and it's done. And I'm like, wow, where did that come from? But other times I like to take 3 or 4 hours to pull a layout together with lots of different techniques, etc. But what I wanted to do on this layout, can you see with these leaves? So these leaves are from a die set that I have from Uniquely Creative, and I think they're called leaves. And there's 2 different sorts of leaves in it. There's a pointy leaf and there's this one. Now, these leaves, I absolutely love them. I'm having a bit of a play here, and I'm trimming the side off, trying to see if I can get it to run down the outside of the smaller square. But it didn't sort of grab my attention the way I wanted it to. So I do change that idea up. Now, as you can see, I've already glued down the white squares. Why? Because I knew that's exactly where I wanted them. There is no point in me fussing around and putting them on the page, off the page, on the page, off the page, when, let's be truthful, that's just frustrating to watch sometimes. Sometimes it's necessary, but sometimes it's very frustrating to watch. Now, this layout is so simple, it's kind of embarrassing. It's so simple, but this is what I wanted to do. I want to give you, this week specifically, I'm using things that I've got in my stash. So these things are things that I've got that I've already cut out with my die cut machine. They've been sitting, because what I do is I'll get myself some white cardstock and I'll have a session, whether it's while I'm watching the V8s with my husband or whatever, I will just sit and just die cut and die cut and die cut. And I just put it into a sandwich snap lock bag, and for my people overseas, that's a what do you call it? A baggie is, I think that's what you call it. We call them snap lock bags or sandwich bags. And I just keep them in snap lock bags, and when I'm wanting some flower, like you can see here, I've had these flowers already pre-cut. They're sitting in bags off to the side. This was a die set that I did get from, I think I got this one from AliExpress, and I ended up getting 3 or 4 different flowers, and these technically are not leaves. These are actually meant to be flowers, but I thought if I did these green, like 2-tone green, so that's why I'm using the mini blending brush and the normal blending brush, because I wanted it to have a 2-toned look to it, so not just all over one solid green. Because I think that's where some people, I have had people ask me, how do you get your leaves to look so real? There's no secret to it. What it is because when you're using your inks, any medium that you're using, whether you're using acrylic paint, watercolor, whether you're using pens, felt pens, whether you're using alcohol markers, Distress Oxide inks. They're blendable, so they're blendable because they go over the top of each other really well. All of those things, and this is how you end up with variation in your leaf, variation in your flower. Like I'm doing right now. I'm going around the outside edges and I'm adding color to the edges, and then these smaller ones, because I'm putting them in the middle, I'm just doing a very light shade over the top, and then see the darker leaves are all around the outside edge. But then I've pulled out Festive berries and I'm just daubing the finer brush in the center, and it totally works. It just brings it to life more. I did end up bringing some of the Festive berries around the outside edges just to give it a bit more definition. I think you just need it a little bit more. They kind of, okay, if you if you tilt your head sideways and you squint really hard, they sort of remind me of like a frangipani. So obviously different colors, blah, 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 but you know, you get the idea. I don't go to town about making sure my flowers are, you know, correct colors, correct placement of color on the flower. I don't do that, but you can see it looks really cute when you put it all together. It looks really cute. Now these gigantic glittery rhinestones, I ordered them and I didn't realize they were this big. So they've been sitting there, and I'm going to endeavor over the next couple of months to try and use them on a few different layouts, because I'm sure I'm not the only person that has ordered rhinestones from AliExpress or Wish or Temu and they arrive and surprise, they're huge. They're not the size you ordered, or they're not quite the color you thought they were going to be. So I figured I would probably go ahead and give it a go. Now I have 2 packets of these words. These don't make it onto the layout. I'll tell you straight up. Okay? I played here for a hot minute trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. I honestly thought that I thought the words going across either side of the flowers would be perfect. But guess what? There was none of those little words. And that was my intention with this particular layout, was to pull out some of the Pink Fresh Studio stuff and pull it out and get some of it on a layout. And guess what? It all went back in the cupboard. Because I love the Pink Fresh Studio words. I have, since doing this layout, I have come up with another layout to use them on, and a different idea that I think will work better. So next week, that one will be popping up, no doubt. Hopefully. I will actually write it down as I'm speaking to you, because I've literally just had the idea. Pink Fresh words. Okay. This is what my brain's like. Sometimes I just have to write things down so that I don't lose the idea. I have more ideas than I have hours in a day, guys. And I know the way I do my videos is really simple compared to other people, but still, I have so many ideas. So many ideas. Now, I am possibly... What am I doing? Oh, that's right. I wrote something down. I stopped looking at the screen for a second. So I decided that I needed to do a couple more flowers, so that I ended up with, because I didn't use those words, I needed a flower at the top and a flower at the bottom, just to help balance the page. I say balance, and yet I've got small squares, big squares. You know what I mean. Stick with me, guys. It's all good. So I am just pulling these together. Now, I did pull out the 49th and Market, these rub-ons. Guys, I'm going to tell you, wherever you get your rub-ons from, I got these from Crazy Craft Obsession, and I know they've still got stock of a stack of rub-ons. Whether they're these exact ones, I'm not sure, but shout out to K.I.S. and Jacques. These were from them, and these are thebomb.com. absolutely love, 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 love these rub-ons. If you haven't used rub-ons in a while, get yourself some. Shout yourself some for Valentine's Day. Shout yourself some for the sake of it. They're fantastic. And just by putting that black and white rub-on onto a scrap piece of cardstock, I've got my title and it blends perfectly and it looks how it's supposed to look, because it just wasn't working before. Now I did go around my squares with a squiggly line because do you want to know the reason why I did it? Because it looked too simple. It looked finished, but it looked too simple. But I think the line around the outside edge, and then I come in with the Uniquely Creative Sparkle Brush. Now I do have a few of these, as you can see, I'm playing with them. One of them says that it's supposed to be grey, but it comes out brown. It's like that brown colour, which is nice. And when I use it on like copper or something, it looks gorgeous. It's beautiful. But I needed my clear one. So this is the clear sparkle brush. It's kind of like your Wink of Stella, but more affordable for an Aussie because it's an Aussie company. So, you know, I think it's great. And I thought just by adding that extra bit of sparkle in there, that might help lift the page that little bit, because it's so simple. And, you know, this is what I say. Sometimes my pages are really in depth and sometimes they're simple. And I think this is what you need in your scrapbooking albums. A bit of simplicity goes a long way. So here you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me yab it on. And I will be back tomorrow with another video. And don't forget, in the description below, you can click on all my links, Facebook, Instagram, and buy me a coffee. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and when we get to 2,000 subscribers, we're having a giveaway. So just saying, it's worth it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Really helps my channel out. Thank you so much, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.